more importantly, I mean, because we're talking, you're talking about the age of 12, with a porn addiction. I mean, for me, um, the entry into porn, or I guess the first time I saw it was much younger than 12. I mean, we're talking 6, 7 years old.
Wow.
I would say maybe my addiction probably didn't really become a major issue until probably 15 or 16. That was just due to us not having the internet. I mean, if I would have had internet at 8, I think I probably would have started my addiction at 8. But it was magazines and whatnot back then, and trying to catch a glimpse on HBO or Cinemax late at night. But I think speaking to young people is important, but with where we're really trying to go, and I mean, talking about handling the issues with young kids or young people struggling with these insecurities, which can lead to an addiction to pornography, can lead to depression. You talked about depression at the age of 14 with a girlfriend. I mean, we can address it to the young people, but we got to bring it to the attention of the parents.
Yeah.
So realizing that, if you have a kid and they're, somewhere between 8, 12, 14 years old, their brain is not developed to the point where if they are introduced into pornography, that they're really equipped to be able to handle it.
Mm.
It's such an early development stages that when you see something of that level of degree, it's
Trauma.
very destructive and can lead to a very harmful addiction, because you're just not equipped. So I think if we're talking, around the discussion of pornography, something that I've done an entire episode on, but I think it's having that conversation at the right time, because you're not going to keep it from a kid. You're not keeping pornography from your child, at least not with where we're at now. Much like you, I have a very big mission in this world, and the mission is to take down the entire industry, but we're not there yet. So for right now, if you have a kid and your kid has a smartphone, if they haven't seen it yet, they're very close to seeing it. So I think it's understanding of when to have that right conversation, and just the openness, like not just sweeping it under the rug, because I think that probably is something that maybe my parents didn't do the best job about. We didn't have conversations around sex, drugs, alcohol, pornography, really anything. It was just one of those things that, as I grew and got older and older, and I just got introduced to these things, just kind of navigated it on my own. And I can tell you that led to kind of a lifetime, struggling with not just pornography addiction, struggling with addiction to alcohol, struggling with addiction to sex, struggling with addiction to abuse, whether that's, in a relationship, verbally, abuse of myself, addicted to bodybuilding, addicted to whatever. But yeah, I think it's speaking to the young people, but then speaking to raise a level of awareness to the parents that are raising young people. I think that's more where I could, hopefully shine a light for some people.
Mm. I can relate to that in many ways. I was brought up in a conservative Christian home, which is not a bad thing at all. And I was, you could say, sheltered a lot of the times from all this, uh, porn, all this stuff, and it
Yeah.
was like Mum and I had the talk, and that just made me more curious to go and figure things out. So I remember, like, in the early 2000s, when I was, I think, 8 or 9, going down the shopping aisle, and that's when in the shops, like in Woolies and Coles and those sorts of places, they used to have an aisle full of, like, Penthouse, Hustler. They used to have that on the shelves.
In the
And
store, you could get them. Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have it. And we were told never to go down that aisle because it would be, like, off limits.
Well, then it probably sparks a sense of curiosity in you that the next time you have an opportunity, I need to go see what's down that aisle, because why did Mom respond that way? I mean, all we have to do is we just have to go to Genesis to understand from human nature what happens when you're told don't do something. Right there in the garden in Genesis 1, God says this is yours. All of this that I created is for you. The one thing you can't do is eat from that tree.
Mm.
I mean, immediately, like if we need to understand like human nature, like if you don't want somebody to do something, the worst possible thing is tell them don't do that,
Yeah.
because it's going to pique that curiosity, especially in a child, that now I need to go see what's down the aisle.
Mm.
Same thing, like when I can't say this is exactly what happened, but as a kid, if you see a dad hiding a magazine underneath a particular, pair of socks in one of his drawers, curiosity is like, I need to go see what is that hiding from me. So I think that's where it's like understanding, and it's going to be different. Like, there's not a perfect formula in how to address this conversation with your kids, because each kid's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be individualized, but this is where, as the parent having the relationship with the kid, you need to know when and where is going to be the right time to have that conversation with them. But
Mm.
it's not something that you can't just sweep it under the rug and think, oh, I raised this perfect little child and he's never going to get introduced to it, because that's going to be the one that's going to hit it hard and is going to hit the most. I mean, before, I graduated high school at 23rd in my class. I was straight A's. I had, a 3.9 GPA out of 4, like all stars, multiple varsity letters, like, honor roll, like all of these things. It's like I was the perfect kid on one side, and then on the other side, I was hiding and
Mhm.
keeping all these secrets and
It's
stuff.
like a dirty secret that you yourself are hiding and nobody else knows about.
Yeah.
Mm, but you. So I was similar in school. I was on a roll student, did everything that I was told, uh, and then but no one really knew about my addiction to porn. No one really knew anything because I was too ashamed.